Hello and Happy New Year! It's time for our annual recap of the Boise housing market and our annual predictions for what's to come this year. And the Boise housing market always seems to make the news or top 10 lists for one reason or another, so we'll go over a few of those lists that relate to the housing market predictions as well. So grab yourself a cup of something warm and let's get to it. And a quick reminder, we love to help you buy and sell homes in the Boise area. And if you're thinking about moving here, feel free to reach out if it's on your mind. Even if you worry it's a little bit too early, relocating is a big decision, so we're happy to chat with you about it whenever you feel ready. Okay, let's recap the 2024 Boise housing market and see how I did with my predictions from last year. I have a video about that. I will link it in the description below if you want to watch it for reference. As predicted, we had a strong market early in the new year, especially with new build jobs. Some builders had great incentives to help lower the rates and lock those in, and many people wanted to purchase early in the 2024 season so that their home would be completed and they could move in prior to the election. And I was correct that as we got closer to the election and the end of the year, people who wanted new construction would purchase more spec homes so that they could close faster rather than waiting for a build job to get completed. And currently going into 2025, people are still more hesitant to purchase a build job if they also need a loan because of the uncertainty of the interest rates. I'll talk more about that when I predict what will happen in 2025. But I was hugely wrong about one prediction, and that was the interest rates. I predicted last year that they would go down into the 5% range, and I made that prediction based on what the mortgage forecasters were predicting. Now, I actually did have almost all of my clients who were getting financed get interest rates that were below 6% when purchasing new construction. I even had a client who was able to buy his rate down to 4.8% with the builder incentive. But the average conventional loan interest rate hovered between about 6.5% and 7.5% all year, which made another one of my predictions true as well, that potential sellers would remain trapped by their rates. And as I predicted, people from other states were still the driving force of our Boise housing market as they moved here for many reasons, like to be in a more conservative state, or in a state that would make their retirement money go farther, or even for a more temperate climate and 4 seasons. And yes, as predicted, there wasn't a huge increase in demand, and that was due to those interest rates staying high. But that demand stayed high enough above inventory so that the home values in the area remained relatively stable through 2024. We did see many price reductions across the valley, but as is often the case, those are mostly on homes that were overpriced anyways, and once they come down to a realistic market value, they'll sell, averaging about 30 days on the market for the valley. The median home price for all of Ada County in November of 2024 was $525,000, which is only about 0.9% lower than the median home price was for all of Ada County in November of 2023. And many cities like Boise, Meridian, Star, and Kuna saw a slight increase in home values year over year. And as I predicted, homes under $600,000 had the most demand, while the demand for homes over $800,000 lessened quite a bit. And I didn't make any predictions past the election timeframe in my 2024 video. There was so much up in the air, but not much has changed since the election regarding the housing market at this point. Interest rates are high right now as the day of filming, January 11th, right around 7.4% for the average conventional rate. But many builders are still offering incentives to help buy the rate down. Would-be sellers are still trapped by their rates, and prices are pretty stable. I get asked a lot, are people still moving there from other states? And the great thing about having this YouTube channel is that I talk with so many people in their planning stages of moving, and I can answer that yes, many people are still planning on making the move to Boise, Idaho from other states. I don't think that will change now that the secret is out and given other influencing conditions in other states. So let's start those 2025 predictions with an easy prediction. I predict people will keep streaming into Boise from other states throughout the year, but I predict it will be more like a steady, slower stream, just like in 2024, and that is due to these interest rates. I have researched several sources, talked with several mortgage experts, and most sources are saying rates will stay between 6 to 7% for all of 2025. And no matter how anyone else spins it, those interest rates are the #1 influencing factor of buyers, sellers, investors, and builders. Of course, there are always people who purchase and sell homes due to major life changes, regardless of interest rates. But since our market is so heavily influenced by people who are moving here out of choice, we can expect to see a market much like last year. And what about those people who don't need to worry about the interest rates and are paying cash for a home? Well, our cash buyers, especially the retiree market, are the ones that kept the market going last year, and I expect that they will do the same this year. The retiree cash buyer purchasing under $650,000 or so makes up a huge amount of our Boise housing market and will continue to do so as long as the interest rates are high. The other large percentage of our housing market was people purchasing new construction homes where the builder offered enough incentive to buy their rate down to an affordable amount. I predict that as long as rates are up, builders in under $600,000 price range will have to keep offering incentives to keep things going. A few of our local builders building homes that are over $800,000 offer incentives, but last year, and I expect this to continue into this year, our local smaller builders building at that price point will continue to wait it out to sell to someone who can afford the home without having to offer the incentive. And let's talk a bit about home value predictions in the Boise housing market for 2025. Last year, there wasn't a large statistical difference from 2023 values. Zillow is predicting that the home values in Boise will increase 3.7% in 2025. But I don't see that happening unless interest rates drop below 5.5% or so. Even if we had some crazy circumstances again like 2020 and 2021, as much as more people may want to flock here, they simply won't be able to afford it if the rates are in the low sevens. I would say that we'll have a repeat of 2024 and home prices may change up or down, but not in a statistically significant way. So we'll see if I'm right or Zillow. But regarding home values, a few interesting lists Boise, Idaho has made this year are Zookasa's list of cities predicted to have their median home value reach over $1 million. They predicted Boise, Idaho's median home price will be over $1 million by 2031. We are at $480,000 for the city of Boise itself in December of 2024. So that's some serious appreciation in 6 years. Part of the reason they predicted that is because they also have Boise, Idaho as the market with the #1 highest total appreciation from 2014 to 2024, which they said home prices appreciated 11.1%. Of course, that was the average of all those years, so it's quite a bit lower than the reality now. And as shown by the NAR report that just came out showing that the state of Idaho housing market had 65.9% appreciation from Q1 of 2020 to Q3 of 2024. But that includes what we now refer to as the unicorn years, and future appreciation will all depend on what happens with our interest rates along with other factors. But there are so many variables that could happen between now and 2031, so let's keep the predictions to just for 2025 for now. I know there are so many potential sellers eager to sell. I think we may see an increase in some listings this spring, even with the higher rates, as many people just won't be able to wait to make the change any longer. But again, if those rates remain as they are, and so potential sellers need to wait again, then that will keep inventory lower. Builders are also very careful to keep things moving along, but trying not to overbuild in order to keep their prices up as well. The high prices now are not coming from the same reasons as the high prices were in the early 2000s. Land is expensive now, labor costs are up, materials are up, and their carrying costs on their loans are up. So builders have to keep tight reins on supply to not overdo demand. So not too exciting of predictions for 2025. Mostly it will remain like 2024 with cash buyers and new construction with high incentives moving the market forward. Sluggish inventory, multiple offers showing up here and there in those ideal single-level homes for retirees, interest rates staying high enough to keep the market slower, but things still chugging along. We are not seeing a real increase in foreclosures or short sales in the Boise housing market, so I think the lowering of home prices will remain like 2024 with price reductions on a case-by-case basis of how motivated a seller is to sell. If you think purchasing or selling a home in the Boise, Idaho area may be in your future for 2025, please feel free to reach out to us, schedule a call to discuss any questions you may have, and we are happy to help. You can reach out to us at our website, summerastonrealestate.com. You can find all kinds of helpful information there, free downloadable guides. You can set up a time to contact us, and remember to follow us on Instagram for daily updates to learn more about Boise, Idaho. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our content we have planned for this year. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful new year.